Okay, I think it's time to start. I would like to welcome all of you. We have quite a good number of participants today. I hope we will be able to attract you concerning the translational medicine program started at Semmelweis University. But before we start, I would like to ask Attila Marta, who is helping me tonight and leading the informatic parts, to start projecting the vice rector's message of the university.
I warmly welcome the audience, those who are interested in the education of the Translational Medicine Center. Here I briefly introduce the vision of Semmelweis University and how the Translational Medicine Center is involved in this vision. Mainly, the Semmelweis University wants to be in the top 100 university in the next couple of years, and among the best 5 universities in the European Union, based on the Times Higher Education World University ranking. It's very important to mention that more than 2/3 of the parameters the ranking are based on coming from the output, scientific and innovation output, and that's why Semmelweis University would like to be the center of the innovation ecosystem in the Central Eastern European region. And to do that, we are developing a centralized support system for research, development, and innovation. And here you see that, not going into the details, but we are building some core facilities in the core of this slide, and then a support system to utilize these core facilities and the results. And on the outer layer, how we get support for this research and how we commercialize the results of this research. And by highlighting with this red circle, this is the Translational Medicine Center, deals with integrated management for translational research, which involves the residency and investigator-initiated studies and meta-analysis and the combination of PhD studies with the residency. Here you see the results of the Translational Medicine Center so far. It has a history of only 2 years at Semmelweis University, but already it contributes a lot to the scientific output of the university. As you see that more than 1/3 of the PhD students are coming from the Translational Medicine Center, and what we see is that the output and the quality of the research papers published by the students and tutors of the Translational Medicine Center are really on the top 10% or top 25% as designated by this D1 and Q1 ranking. And by numbers, in the last 2 years, all publications reached almost 120, and the total impact factor numbers close to 700. And as you see, the Translational Medicine Center attracts students from all over Hungary, not only from the 4 universities with medical faculties, but also the national institutes and county hospitals as well. And also the Translational Medicine Center started to attract students from all over the world. And so far, we have already 3 bilateral agreements signed as well. So finally, we warmly welcome you to Semmelweis University in Budapest, Hungary, and we encourage you to apply to the Translational Medicine Center education and start your residency and PhD together with our colleagues. Thank you very much.
We cannot hear you.
Yes. So I would like to welcome all of you again. I ask you, Attila, whether you can hear me currently.
Yeah, yeah.
That's very good. So I am very thankful for Peter Ferdinandi, the vice rector responsible for science and education and Semmelweis University. I joined to the university management team in 2 years ago. And the reason why I joined it was that this university really mean that they would like to among the best universities. And I decided in my entire career that I really would like to work in a brilliant university who supports science and very much. So when we arrived here, we immediately started to build up a strong program which support youngsters, because for the future, and not only for our future, but for the university future, it strongly depends on the young people who choose science, and which this program, we would like to actually show you the power of science in healthcare and how you can join in and how you can apply learning methodologies which you can use in your daily healthcare in your career. So let's look at about this program and how it looks like. And actually, what is science about? I don't think so that I need to explain very much in very details that currently none of you using any methodologies in your life, which is not science dependent. If we sit in a car, if we just commute between points, we use a GPS, which exactly tell us after a data analysis, which way should we go to achieve the most efficient travel, the quickest and the best travel, what we can achieve. It's irrespectively whether you, for example, lived any time in Budapest or not. If you switch on your GPS, it's exactly tell you at what time what to do. If you would like to win an Olympic gold medal, of course, for an athlete, maybe 50, 60 years ago, science was not very much important. However, nowadays, one athlete has unbelievable many coaches, which actually with scientific data analysis help to achieve the best performance, including mental health, including cardiac function, including nutrition, mental hygiene, everything which can help. So currently there is no other things than science if you would like to be successful. Exactly the same evolution went through on medicine. Like in the last century, mostly a doctor had their own experience to help to the patients, and those doctors who spend more time in the clinic had actually better overview and better medical care for the patients than anybody else. However, in the last 10 years, in the last century, it's turned out that there is much more we can have, much more than our experience is, because here you can see only a small number of patients in your career. But if you do different clinical trials, different studies, and you use randomized clinical trials and so on, many studies, you can have information from much more area. And if you use your natural intelligence, and we will speak about the artificial intelligence later, and you see these kind of data from many patients and use protocols and follow an evidence-based guideline, you can actually treat your patients much better than anybody else in the last century. And if you look at the future, if you look at artificial intelligence, which just kicked in the door, or you look at precision medicine in oncology, or you look at pharmacogenetics, even the future going to scientific part. So in the future, there will be no doctor who can treat patients efficiently who doesn't know science. And why we are already in trouble But in last century, the biggest problem was that we didn't have enough data. We didn't have enough results. Like in the 50s, there were about 85,000 articles per year only. Last year, we had over 1.7 million articles on PubMed published. And if we look at 2023, it's more likely that we will reach the 2 million publications. So currently, we have unbelievable huge amount of scientific results generated by scientists. But if we look at the benefits on the patient side, we feel that the knowledge which is in the air in these articles are not wisely used. So we need a new model. We need to translate the scientific results back to patients' benefits. So like we need to actually establish a so-called healthcare GPS, which means that the data which is generated in healthcare, we can collect in a prospective way. We can make a data analysis, and after that, we can bring it back for patients' benefits. And you immediately can see that there are two parts of medicine. One of them is the discovery phase, which you can see here when you generate new knowledge, and also in the implementation phase, when you use this knowledge to make decision-making in your daily healthcare. And this part is as important as the first one. So you can ask a question very, very easily, whether we are late or we are not late so far. So if we decided that nobody can do any kind of scientific activities in the future, but the human beings, the community, would use all the scientific knowledge which have been generated in the past, we would have much better data. If we look at Hungary, in Hungary, every year, 126,000 people died before COVID-19. But if we look at how many patients' lives could have been avoided, you can see that there are 60,000 deaths could have been avoided altogether if we use all the knowledge which we generated in the past. So we are late. But are we late only in Hungary? I must say no, we are already late in Europe and most probably everywhere worldwide, because if you look at the EU data, you also can see that patients under 75 die because we don't use the knowledge we could have. So annually 1.7 million people die and 1.2 million avoidable mortality among these. Usually in Eastern Europe, it's 4 of 5 patients die unnecessarily, while in like Western Europe, mostly 3 of 5 dies. So we can say that science in medicine is not the future, is the present. And currently we need to do something because we don't use the scientific results effectively in healthcare. So if somebody asks me, what is the vision of our center? It's very, very easy to bring scientific results into healthcare. And our mission is to break through change in Europe, worldwide, Hungary. So we would like to educate a new generation of healthcare professionals who can use scientific knowledge more efficiently than any human being used it in the past. I'm really very proud because one of the most distinguished academy in Europe is Academy of Europaea. They have approximately 5,000 members, of which 83 already received the Nobel Prize, and most of them received the Nobel Prize after they were inside the Academy of Europaea. And this unit provided the opportunity for us to develop the translational medicine cycle, which is a totally new approach of doing scientific activity worldwide. And I'm also very happy that in 2018, I became to be the member of Academy of Europaea. And in 2 years ago, based on the success of these results, I had the privilege to be the chair of the clinical and veterinary section unit, of which there are 300 brilliant physician scientists in the team. And with their help, we built up an international program which can help anybody to understand how to bring scientific knowledge back to patients' benefits. And I immediately must say that many people think that science, when we speak about science, they think about laboratories. They see actually pipettes, they see incubators, microscopes, PCR machines, and so on. However, science is not only happening in wet lab, but also in dry lab. When we are at the patient side, we collect huge amount of information, analyze it, and bring back for patients' benefits. So if you can see the cycle, the implementation science should be done not in laboratories, but next to the patient side during your medical education or when you are already treating patients. And whether the program is good, successful, original enough, it's always the around people, the community can decide, the scientific community. We are very proud that Nature Medicine found this program important and original enough to publish their results in 2021, and which showed very easily that this Academy European pilot really accelerates the transition of scientific knowledge back to patients' benefits. Whenever people speak about science, mostly think about impact factors, publications, and so on. But if we see about the results, it's much more in healthcare than in actually in papers. So for example, my specialty is gastroenterology, internal medicine, and clinical pharmacology, but I am mostly involved in pancreatic research. We collected data from 23 countries, 62 centers, and approximately from 10,000 patients, and we realized the doctors using about 60% time antibiotics for the patients, and most of this usage of antibiotics are unnecessary. Why we do it? That is too much. If you think about the etiology of pancreatitis, it's mostly bile stone or alcohol or obstruction, but not infection. So we immediately looked at what is the results of the or the reasons of the overuse of antibiotics, and we immediately found out that the biggest problem is about the rapid elevation of CRP, procalcitonin, and leukocyte levels on the first 3 days when doctors immediately start the usage of antibiotics. However, when we looked at this data and we interfere there and we change our thinking of when to give antibiotics, we could decrease the antibiotic usage with 50% for these patients, and we found that approximately 30–35% of patients who really gain benefits after antibiotic treatment. Or, for example, enteral feeding, nasogastric or nasojejunal feeding also can decrease the mortality very easily. So if you think about plenty of treatment we use in every day, and if you optimize it, if you use it much wisely, you not only can have patients' benefits, but you also can decrease with 25% the healthcare cost. So it's again the question arose, okay, Peter, that you can easily say that you work in a university area, but I work in a hospital or maybe a county or a town hospital. Whether what could be the benefit for me or for my patients? I must say that exactly the same. So we tested this model at the St. George Hospital in Székesfehérvár. A resident doctor came to our centers and moved back. He immediately could decrease with 34%, 1% of the usage of antibiotics, and he could decrease the length of hospitalization in his patients' population immediately. Or if you look at like the Heimpál Children's Hospital in Budapest, where they are one of the best centers in CF results, they started using the newly developed methodologies, how to collect data, how to perform diagnosis and treatments. And immediately when they looked at about in the youngsters, a new methodology, how to screen for diabetes, they immediately could diagnose diabetes mellitus much early in CF population that ever been done before. and they could 16% more newly diagnosed insulin glucose tolerance, impaired glucose tolerance, which actually mean that for these patients, you even can do interventions before the patients will have symptoms. So generally, or last year, Bajcsy Hospital joined it. When an otorhinopharyngologist joined, Tamás Horváth and Kata Illés, they actually found out in cholesteatoma that if they used different techniques, the mastoid obliteration, it can immediately decrease the cholesteatoma recurrence. And what they did, when they did the study, they immediately started using on their own patients, and it turned out that within a year, they could decrease the recurrence rate of cholesteatoma in their own patients. And Kata is a second-year PhD student, so immediately after year one, they could get benefits learning the methodology. Okay then, but not only scientific benefits they have, so if there is any institution leader here or hospital leader, it's very visible that how the scientific output can grow. When we started this program, it was 2016, January at the University of Pécs. We changed the Department of Pathophysiology to a Center for Translational Medicine. Before that, it was around 30, 50 impact factors what was provided actually by the institution, and within a very short amount of time, it rose to approximately 500, and last year it was approximately 700. And if we look at the results about the T1, Q1 journals, it's very visible that it's mostly D1 and Q1 journals. And if you we look at about the impact factors, the origin impact factors, it was 4.84, 2,600 impact factor. Here it's, although it's 1,095 publication, but it's generally approximately between 500 and 600, which were published in international journals, and the other 500 in only local journals with no impact factors. But if you look at only those articles which have impact factors, you immediately can see that the average of the impact factor publications are really quite high. And this amount was like in 2021, we published 112 papers with 71 impact factors. So this result is really, really unbelievable good for an institution. When we moved this program to Semmelweis University, we could exactly see the same. When we established the program, it immediately became to be successful, and we could generate even higher number of D1 papers. D1 means that you can publish in a top 10% of the journals ever in your field, which means that really, really what you provide data here, not only usable by you, but anybody else in the world. If you look at about the best top 5 articles which we published in after the institution was established, you can see the journals which are here. They are really the best journals in the world. Okay, after showing you what is the benefit in healthcare and in the academic field, we can speak about the program development, how we develop this program. Of course, if you would like to have a new program, you have to change the system you had. Actually, in Hungary, and I know that this is happening in plenty of countries, there is one supervisor and one student, and they are running projects. And mostly the students needs to be everything, while the clinicians actually provide clinical help to the students. But if you look at statistics, IT, everything needs to be done by the students. Okay, then, but I ask 2 questions. Are we sure that the best quality can be done by a medical student or a dietitian students in statistics? Or if we have a professional biostatistician, can we do better? Or if I ask a students maybe to collect the data in an Excel sheet, whether this will be a more efficient, or if we ask an IT person to develop a program or develop a software for that. So, or if a student start to write an ethical approval, it takes maybe 1.5 years to get it, Or if you have a lawyer, it can be much quicker. So if we change our thinking that science is not a two-man show between a PhD students and clinicians, but involved really multidisciplinary methodology experts to the system, it can be much, much quicker how we work. The best example I usually tell to the students and people when I give this talk is about the same. We have an old way how to change a tire when it's flat. And of course, if you think about what you do every day, this is a methodology. Of course, you can use it. This will generate, of course, a success. But the time that you spend is really huge. And if you are not experienced, not sure that you can be it quick. But if you look at the Formula One competitions and you look at a depot, a pole, where actually people change the tires, you can immediately see that there is a huge difference between the two models. And the huge difference is that they work as a team. So the driver, the pilot, has an unbelievable big support around. So imagine that you are a student in our center and sitting in the middle, and you are around with absolutely top experts. And not only the teamwork can accelerate your success, but they use the latest technology instead of if you do something alone. I don't know whether you're aware about the timing, but if I just changed my winter tire last week in a service and they did it within 1 hour for my 4 wheels. And but let's make it, you can do it with 30 minutes. But the world record actually in Formula One is 1.9 seconds for the 4 tires. So you must understand that if you would like to do something differently in efficacy in the future, you need to change the system. So therefore, we built up a hybrid system for Hungarian doctors, but this hybrid system can work for you as well, irrespectively whether you work as a medical doctor in Hungary or healthcare professionals or not. So we started this program at the University of Pécs, and within 2 years, it was very successful. Each year we had around 20 healthcare professionals who choose this methodology. But at that time, it moved to Budapest because the rector of the university, Béla Merkeli, wanted, as the vice rector said, to bring the university among the best universities. And also the Ministry for Innovation and Technology gave money for running this program. So in the recent 2 years, there are 174 students joined actually to this program. I saw, and I was so happy to see that many countries are representing themselves here. We already have students from 10 countries, which shows that we do something which have international benefits, and not only from worldwide, but also we can have 23 different hospitals in Hungary who already been involved. So that's just one example that this can be done, and not only in the universities, but hospital level. One of the hospitals around Hungary, or around Budapest, which is around 70 kilometers from Budapest, is the Székesfehérvár Hospital. And the 4 students who joined actually when the program was at the Pécs University were Eszter Boros, she was a gastroenterology resident, Máté and Marcel, they were intensive care and anesthesiology residents, while Mátyás was an orthopedic resident. And they come to Pécs, they learn the methodology on their own studies, so learning by doing, and this immediately generate articles. And if you look, all of the 4 members within a year could have their first author top articles, and all of the studies were actually around the clinical questions, what they can immediately use after they have finished the study. If you also look at the first 4 PhD defense, if you look at the number of first author papers and co-author papers they had, you can see that like in Formula One, you can have a totally different results than it was in the past. Totally different outcome. These numbers just not understandable if you don't understand that you use new technology and you use a team like in Formula One. Let's look at what is the format. First, let me mention about the Hungarian system. For you, it could be different if you come from abroad. In Hungary, a healthcare professionals, like a medical doctor, can have their consultant specialty exam approximately within 5 years. However, based on the Hungarian healthcare laws, if you have a PhD on the same topic, on the same subjects, you will have a specialty exam. It means that you can decrease with 1 year your specialist exam. So, for example, if you come for 4 years as a PhD student and you after became to be a gastroenterologist, it will be not 9 years, but 8 years until you are doing it. However, the laws in Hungary doesn't say that you cannot do it parallelly. So it means because they can take out 1 year, if we develop a system in which within 1 or 2 years, you can have enough articles, you are done. It means that you will have PhD degree and special exam within the same time. However, of course, based on that we decrease the time, you need protected time to run this project. So in year 1, you need 4 days as a protected time. However, 1 day you still can work as a resident doctor, or you can be in a medical education or anyone else. In year 2, it's changed over. You still need 1 scientific day every week. But if you spend 4 days in a residential work, that means that within 2 years, until you've done your complex exam, you can actually be 1 year in science and 1 year actually in hospital work. Of course, the hospital work is not compulsory. So if you would like to be really rushing in a much bigger speed and you are not working in a healthcare professional, you can go even faster. And it's also, you can have an education here. So if you are either an undergraduate student, a 5th or 6th years medical students, or dentist or pharmacology students, you can do this work next to your undergraduate education or next to your job. You will have, however, a very strict calendar, so you really need these 4 days at least to run this project. We have plenty of highly dedicated people who are running actually these programs, and we not only have officials, but huge amount of supervisors. We have currently more than 110 supervisors at Semmelweis University who are more than happy to have students as a supervisors. However, if you come from a hospital and you would like to bring your supervisors, of course it's possible. There could be joint supervisionship. If you come from abroad, from another hospital, from other university, like we have, I saw so many people from Romania. We have like 2 universities in Bucharest and Iași, where they not only sending their students, but they also provide supervision from Iași, and we have bilateral actually contract, and it can be done. Or we have bilateral contract with Chinese universities or hospitals to have students. So supervision can be done either here or jointly. It's totally up to the situation. As I mentioned, that one of the biggest advantage of the system that you will have so many excellent methodology experts, and I am so happy that this is already international. For example, Bianca is from Brazil, Alex is from Germany, Karen actually from Turkey, we have Mahmoud from Jordan, so we have Gamma from Mongolia. So we have so many international people already in the program. So if you join in, you not only will be able to learn the methodology, you not only will be able to get your PhD, but you still can stay in the system. You can be actually paid for your service, and you can help back to the younger students to develop. I think we have an unbelievably brilliant statistician team in Hungary. Definitely, this is the highest level of statistician team ever, led by Andrea Harnos, and many, many different experts, including randomized trial, registry analysis, meta-analysis, network and meta-analysis, and they are very happy to help you as a Formula One driver or pilot in your system. We use a totally different education way, however, which you usually get at university or any other education level. We are using a totally innovative way. We have plenty of very special modules where we teach the different systems. Actually, we have 5 different modules. We have the group meetings, when a high multidisciplinary team will help you, like in the depot there, and this team will always discuss your results, and you need to present every week your data, every week in English your development. So there is a quality and development monitoring as well. The classes part are separated to 2 parts. One of them is the e-learning, which means that plenty of materials you can get online, even you can do it abroad. And you can get with the certificates that you have done it. And the only personal place where you need to be is the practice, when it's mostly troubleshooting. We have projects meeting. Of course, I mentioned we have 174 students and we have over 350 projects. Of course, you cannot go into deep details every week for all projects. It's impossible. Therefore, we have the project meetings with small number of persons only involved who are running only that project. However, as I mentioned to you, that we really have international distinguished speakers involved in the study, and you can meet them, you can chat them, you can understand their success, and they will give you presentations, they will give you knowledge, and I will tell you what level of scientists are coming to this program. And the other issue is what you already have videos, and you can watch them about the students' performance at progress reports, which is like an audit. In every 3, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, and 2 times in year 2, the students needs to actually run a progress report. So every time you have to show your development. Of course, we would like to rush fast. So you are the driver, you need to push the gas pedal. If you don't push it, of course, you can be out of the program as well, because we want those who are running this professionally have a big speed. 91 students started last year, approximately 75 reaching the complex exam, which is a great success because 80% can do it. So it's a good news because those who want to do it, they can be successful. Those who just think that I just joined to an education and I would like to sit down and relax, we are not working with them. We would like to have cars, pilots in our depot who actually really want to go further. So as I mentioned, we have very professional emails, but you can learn and you can understand this. Actually, if you are not in the program, you can even choose them separately. You can register them and we can send you a link. Of course, you can use them as well. And in the group meetings, as I mentioned, you have plenty of experts around the clinical team, where usually in front of 30, 50 people, you can enjoy the new ideas and new support for your study. This is only 2.5 hours per week. You can have project discussions, of course, with Zoom, with a small team. Of course, if you need experts, irrespectively what kind of expertise you need, we are organizing for you to the main meeting. And as I mentioned, the progress report are the one where the students need to show their advantages. We have a Translational Medicine Foundation YouTube channel, what you can actually use. And for example, if you look at the program booklets, which are inside our webpage, you can see actually a QR code for every student. And if you click it on, actually immediately you can see all the presentations of the students. So you can check projects, how they can develop from 3 months until year 2, and you will get a very good understanding what kind of projects we are rushing. I mentioned to you the seminar lectures. In the seminar lectures, we have unbelievable speakers. We had the European vice chair with over 10 Nature articles. We had so far 5 Nobel laureates here you could chat with. We had brilliant clinicians. We had different leaders of pharmaceutical companies. And just how real it is. Today morning, I went to the airport with Bruce Beutler. I took them back because he lived us. He was here with us for 3 days. He received the Nobel Prize in 2011 for discovering TNF-alpha, the LPS-induced endotoxin shock, and the TLR receptors. So currently, in medicine, we can use biological therapy because of him. It was, I must say, a joy spending 3 days with him, because this was absolutely good to understand how you can be highly successful. All students are controlled really well, not because we loving controlling, but if we see about where a student stuck in a project, we immediately can help. So imagine that you are driving a car and you have a flat tire. We immediately there change it, you can drive. We go further, and your accumulator, your electricity stop. We repair it, and you can go further. So this is the reason why this program can run so efficiently. Of course, we are not only running scientific event, but social club, sports club, arts club, and we even have like Gatsby like party, which is one of the highest recognized social event in the evening. So we not only try to look at to have your knowledge, but to have really enjoyable life here with us. We also have challenges. Balaton Lake is the biggest lake in Hungary, which is 210 kilometers. We try to challenge ourselves, and we measure how many of us can cycle around the lake of Balaton within a day, and usually we are able to do it. And after that, it's really a huge joy for those who could come over. Okay, let's turn back what we can offer you or what we can offer a university. We have 8 different courses you can join in. And if you go to our webpage, actually you will be able to click on the international course application where you can apply, or you can see all the translational education programs. We have 8 different programs. So let's think about you are actually from the European Union, because of course there are different rules for EU members and non-EU members. Those who are Hungarians or member countries of the European Union, you can join to the PhD program, which is supported by the Hungarian government, which means that you are entitled to receive approximately 400 euros supplement every month, like a scholarship, and you can join the program with no payment. You need to apply. Of course, you have to pass an entry exam, and after, if you are admitted from September, you can start it. You can read actually every details in the web page I showed you. Of course, each of them are different brochures, PDF files with around 20 pages. All the details are there. Of course, if you are from Hungary and also from the EU, you also can join actually our undergraduate program, which is an MD, DMD, and Pharma PhD program, and you can do it as an undergraduate level. We also have a summer school, which you can join. The summer school is different than the year course. In the summer school, it's 4 different weeks in summer. 500 euros is 600 euros is one course. If you take all the courses, you can get a refund as well. So you can have a 1 month complex education tool for 2,000 euros. We had very successful last year. We had 12 students, and all of them get really huge amount of knowledges. You also can have the Build the Basics program. So if you are not admitted on the PhD interview because of the lack of some knowledge, even if it's English or biology, you can have a Build the Basics year, which means we provide you a help to start with before you start the PhD course. However, this program is already needs to have a tuition fee, which is 20,000 euros. Approximately one student's fees about containing all statistical, IT, and everywhere. So for this amount of money, you can get a huge amount of help in the entire part of the years. Let's look at the other programs, which is actually also for EU members and non-EU members. We have, of course, the PhD program from non-EU members. In this, the tuition fee is 20,000 euros per year. But as I mentioned, within 2.5 years, you can do it with absolutely no problem if you do it. We have an expert program. So even if you have your PhD and you would like to learn in a more advanced phase, you can also do it. We are very happy to have faculty members here for 20,000 euros per year, and we can provide huge amount of benefits to learn these programs. For special, and I saw that there are many Romanian fellows, we have a foundation and the MORE program, and they support 2 persons annually. So if you apply for the MORE program, it's on the net, you can apply it. And if you get this scholarship, you don't need to pay anything at all, because this is supported for Romanian, especially Romanian citizens, this kind of programs. However, we have another program, which is for institutions. We can have bilateral agreement, which can reduce the cost. So for example, if one of the universities would like to have double fees, well, double PhD degrees. So, for example, we have universities from Romania, Slovakia, we have an agreement. The students need to join to both universities' PhD program. The students can get scholarship at both places, which elevate the scholarship for the person. And the whole educational program payment, in that case, separated between the 2 universities, 10,000 euros. And so this cost much less for them. And the foreign university also can put their CV that they have actually done it. The last one I would like to show you about the new program, which will start in very first this year. Semmelweis University really want to have the best, the smartest students, which means if you are already at Semmelweis University, you are entitled to join to the PhD program while you are doing the undergraduate program in year 5 and year 6. Or if it's pharmacy, it's year 4, year 5, or dentistry. Already the 20,000 tuition fees decreased to 10,000 because you are already attend Semmelweis University course, and you are already have tuition fee for the undergraduate one, so decrease it with 50%. And what will we discuss with the rector and vice rector of science and innovation, that those students who are successful, so they can have the paper within a year and the second paper within 2 years. After the year, they can have a Scholar Excellence Award, which is 5,000 euros. So first, they need to pay only 10,000 and they receive the prize at the end. The final cost is decreased to 5,000 for a year. And after, when they finish within 2 years and they can get the complex exam, it's only 5,000 euros for the total program. And they already have this kind of a complex exam. Next year, they can save your degree. So it means if you are here in our foreign programs at the university and you join here within the same time, within the same rental fee in your flat and so on, you can go home with 2 degrees. One of them is your undergraduate degree. And when you receive it in June or in July, immediately in the autumn period, you can have the PhD as well, which is, I think, one of the unique opportunity, those smart students who really would like to achieve much more than the others. How you can apply? We help you in any way. You can join, you can go to the TM web system, you can go to education, you can go to international course supply, and you can put your name, or you can even send us an email that you are interested in. So tmk@semmelweis-univ.hu. If you send an email to us, you immediately get response about what you want to do, or if you register at our webpage, you immediately will be phoned up. One of our really dedicated manager who will help you how to fulfill about your application. I don't want to tell you the deadlines. All of them is like middle of April or end of April, so you still have time. It's every application is in different, it's depend on which course you are coming, so go there. However, if you would like to have a conversation with me later on, you can even call me. I don't promise that I will pick up the phone at every time, but definitely will call you back, or you separately can send me emails as well. So I was so happy that you came tonight, and this video will be uploaded to our webpage, which means that you can watch it back, or you can go there and you can have more detail. And I'm more than happy that today not only I am here, but we have actually really two experts who are from the field. I am more than happy to welcome Szilárd Vancsa, who is actually originally from Romania and came to the program. I'm not sure at that time it was a MOL program, but you joined to the PhD courses and still are here and finishing his PhD and also leading the second year students. And we have here Murray Ang, who is actually from Norway, and she has joined the program also a couple of years ago, and she's still with us. So if you have questions for them, they also will be able to answer. So I saw the countries. If you haven't seen your countries already, put in your countries. As I can see that there are approximately 20-30 countries are here. So let's start the conversation. We have a Q&A session. So please write in your questions and we will try to answer you immediately by word, or you can even come in that you would like to join to the panel and we can continue the conversation lively, not only in written, doesn't matter what you want. So here, go to the Q&A, put your questions on it, and we are immediately answering. However, before you ask your very first question, I would like to ask you, Szilárd, maybe to say a couple of words when you arrived to Hungary, what kind of experience you had at the very beginning and what you could achieve actually within this very short amount of time. As far as I understand, you are a fourth-year PhD student. What is your scientific parameters, what you could achieve? Why do you suggest this course to the students? Or if there is anything, you can say why not. It's also could be a very good place, and I will switch off my computer as well. Okay, so Szilárd, the stage is yours. We can't hear you. There could be some mic problems, but until, or maybe if it's there, or until you start.
You may hear me now. Sorry.
Okay, now, okay, yes, we can hear you.
Sorry for everybody.
Technical troubleshooting works at CTM, guys. You can see that.
Very fast, yes. So thank you very much, Peter, for letting me share my experience. And I have to say, I just finished with the group meeting with the second year orthopedic group. So I just had the chance to join in. So welcome everybody. My name is Szilárd Vancsa, and as Peter was telling you, I finished med school back in 2019. I had the luck to meet him first time in 2018 when I started to work as a project student in this program. And I already decided back then that I really want to learn much more about science, and I already believe that good healthcare can be only done if you also know the scientific part of healthcare. So you must understand why are you doing those interventions, those therapies for a patient, and also you want to improve it. So it was quite a fast decision for me to come here. And I believe after 4 years, it was quite a good decision, because as Peter was telling, I'm about to finish my PhD. So I'm ready with all my publications, just I'm still working in the program. But in this 4 years, of course, with a wonderful teamwork together with everybody at the CTM, I was able to publish 6 first author papers, and altogether I have currently today 42 published articles.
Wow.
And my cumulative impact factor is above 200. So I'm very happy that I could achieve these results together with the help of this team, and I really hope that everybody will meet these results as soon as possible, because the team is even getting bigger since then. So if you have any questions, then I'm happy to answer also. Peter, we can't hear you because you...
Yes, now it's switched on. So thank you, Szilárd, and have a good future for you. I think what you could learn, knowledge definitely will be your benefits, but most importantly for your patients' benefit. So let's Murray. You joined at the University of Pécs. We wanted to run away, but you came with us to Budapest because you decided to join to CTM later. So why you decided first to join in, and why you decided to follow us to Budapest?
Well, I mean, as I'm sure you remember, I joined as a TDK student in 2018. So this was actually quite early on in my medical school career.
Wow.
It was during my 3rd year, I think. So it was really quite early.
We know each other for 5 years.
Yep.
That's unbelievable. Time goes by.
It's been quite a ride, I have to say. And I was really happy doing my TDK, but of course I never imagined staying in Hungary. I really, as a foreign student here, you think about leaving as soon as you can. And somewhere during my last year, I started considering a PhD. And I started talking to Balint Erich. I don't know if anyone knows who he is. He's a supervisor in the gastroenterology. Yeah, great. Szilárd also knows him quite well. And he was my thesis supervisor. He was my TDK supervisor. And he managed to sell this program, you know, saying, okay, I can have my PhD in 2 years, 2.5, maybe 3. And, you know, you're planning these great things for Budapest, great. And, you know, I'm thinking nobody can run away from me. So I followed. No, I joke, but I thought it sounded really great to have such a systematized PhD. So I was looking into other options. I was looking at PhD in Norway. I was looking at PhD in Germany, and also in America, of course. And for all of these places, it was very individualized. It was very difficult to understand what was going on. It wasn't promising. You always bound yourself to a supervisor. You didn't know much about the supervisor. You had to just kind of choose. You had to hope that everything was going to be okay. So I thought, okay, having this systematic program in Budapest, which is a great city, sounds great. 2 years, I'm sold. And now, of course, I'm staying more than 2 years because I like the program, and I'm not quite ready to leave yet. But I'm very happy that I made this choice, I do have to say.
We are very happy that you are with us, Murray, and you are one of the most knowledgeable coordinator in the program. So thank you being with us. Attila already put to the chat, because there was a question when you will be able to rewatch the video or to get more information. So if you go to our webpage, actually there is a very easily can be found on the net. If you put like tm/center.org and you click on English, because of course If you speak English, it's better. You come to education. And if you click on education, you can find actually here the details about what you can do. First of all, you can find the earlier year students. So if you click on 2022 and 23, you immediately can see about some notes about concerning the program. And you can, if you click on the scientific projects, this is what I showed you. You can have a look the whole years here about the introduction of the whole program. You can find much more details than I told you. You can see what kind of topics are there, but generally I can say that any kind of topics can be immediately used. And not only these informations are here and all the structure of the program and how many students we have currently, but as I mentioned, you can find actually details concerning the applications like the POL program I mentioned, stipendium and all the others, the bilateral collaborating universities, and you can have all the details concerning the scientific achievements. And more importantly, you can find the students we were discussing for each groups. And if you come to see the students, you read their projects, you can see about a QR code. And if you click on, like I click on here, you can open up a link. And in this link, you immediately can find actually all the presentations. Danuta is a year one student, currently finished the progress report 1. And if you click on, you can already have a look. And actually, I'm the same place like the education. You can go to Translational Education program and you can rewatch the video and everything. And here you can find each programs. And if you click on, you can have the page. You have here, you can find about everything concerning the deadlines, what we offer, the important dates, what you can follow, and every knowledge concerning the program, it's are here, even what kind of skills and knowledge you can gain from the program. So this is actually the information you can find. And if you coming to the other place, to the other part, which means that application, you can international course application, you can choose which course you would like to apply. You can choose here, as I mentioned, we have several courses for you. And if you choose which program you are applied for, you can select. Here are, you write in the details where we can find you. You upload here your CV, motivation letter. These are the only 2 things which we need. And we will call you back and we can start actually the conversation. We definitely will help you to apply. So you don't need actually to do everything alone. We will assist you continuously. So we have a couple of questions. Here I'm a 5th year medical student and I was wondering, can I join project as a first or second author without getting the PhD? Of course, you can do it. If you are a 5th year medical student currently, you can start the program in September as a 6th year medical student if you join to the MD PhD course. But if you just would like to have a project students, you can send your details to us, to the email we provided earlier, and we will find you projects you can join in for free, and you can learn this kind of methodologies as well. Okay, another question from an anonymous attendee. For those in English MD program who would like to do some of the 6-year rotation abroad, how does the process work with the PhD program while away from the country for a few weeks? Is it put on hold and can we work from abroad? Yes, very, very important question. Very good that it is asked. You can continue the program if you are abroad, if you certainly attend the courses, the e-learning, and we will have Zoom courses. So if you sometimes abroad, it's happening with other students, receive, for example, an Erasmus program, you can do it. The only thing is that you really need to go forward with your projects. So this is actually not stopped. You must work during you are with us. Is Stipendium Hungaricum available for MD PhD program? I don't think so that currently available. You need to join via the way. However, if your country supports in that way, this could work. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, we don't have a stipendium from MD as well.
Sorry, just if I can add something to the stipendium, because this is important that if you want to join with stipendium, so for example, if you currently are in your 5th year, you can apply for the stipendium until December, so this December. And basically that means that you are applying during your 6th year, but you will be able to start your PhD only after that. So applying for stipendium takes a while. But it may be possible that if you apply it for in the next possible occasion, then you will be admitted for the next year. That one can happen.
Yeah, very, very important point. So the next question is coming that can an EU Hungarian citizen can get for government for funding? Yes, as I mentioned, for a general a PhD program who has an MD, MSc or MA degree, and you are from the EU or from Hungary, you can apply for free because they are paid by the government cost. Then we have 90 places. Of course, there is a competition. First year, we had 160 applicants for the 90 places. But if you get the government money, you need to be a Hungarian or EU citizens. Can we start the PhD in English, MD program 4th year onwards? Unfortunately, not at year 4. At year 4, you can join as a project student, and we have a couple of them who has joined. We can start working, but only year 5 and year 6. So in the last 2 years, you can join to the MD PhD program with us. Okay.
Unless, of course, it's dentistry or pharmacy, because dentistry and pharmacy join from 4th year. Yep.
Yeah. Very good point, Marie. Is there an entrance exam for the MD PhD program? Yes. Of course, you have to fulfill it. So for all programs, we have an entry interview because we would like to make sure that your knowledge and English level reaching the phase that you can work in the program. Is there an entrance? Is the EU grant available for MD PhD program? Unfortunately not. This was the reason why Semmelweis University decreased the money to 10,000, and if you receive a good paper, it's only 5,000. So they decreased it with 4 times. But without this amount of money, unfortunately, currently there is no sponsorships by the government for that programs. Okay, another question in the chat. Is there any way to avoid paying the tuition fee if I am not an EU citizen? The deadline for applying the Stipendium Hungaricum was last January for the September. You can apply, of course, and we can say whether you can be admitted or not to the program. However, of course, there is also written there that before the course is starting, you have either have a scholarship or you need to pay in the money. Otherwise, you will not be able to start the program. This is the way how to start. So somehow either you need to have a sponsorship or you need to pay the tuition fee in. Next question, can I start residency if I join the MD PhD program right after getting my diploma? Yes, of course you can start, no problem. Even you immediately can defend your PhD. No, you definitely, so your undergraduate education is totally going on a different way than your postgraduate, but you can bring the two to at the same time. So definitely yes. For example, if you join as year 5 students, you pass the complex exam in June in your 6th year or 5th year as the dentist students or pharmacy students. You receive the complex exam, you receive the diploma, and maybe in September you can have the PhD exam and you return back home with an MD and PhD or DMD and a PhD as well. What else is evaluated in the interview? Very good question. The interview is based to understand your motivation, your commitment, your enthusiasms, and your English level. I must say that there is no specific knowledge we would like to ask from you. Of course, we will ask you about, have you heard translational medicine? Do you have some knowledge? But mostly we would like to understand your commitment and motivation to start the program. What exactly is evaluated? Yes, this is what we were speaking about. Any more questions, guys? I was happy to have so many questions from you. Yes, one more. Is the funding available for EU Parliament resident holders, permanent? We have to check it. I am not sure about it. We will check it. Whether EU permanent resident holder, send me please an email that we can inform you. If you are, we have to check whether you are entitled for the government money or not. If yes, of course, we are more than happy to support you. Is there any previous research experience required for the program application? No, you can come with yourself. We will teach you all the methodologies, everything what is needed. How in depth must your medical knowledge be to apply for the program and become involved in research? Would a third-year dental students with above average grades have a chance to apply, or do you need additional background in research? No, as a third-year dental student, you are very happy to apply because it means that in year 4 you can start the program. And what I just mentioned, you don't need to have specific knowledge. You don't have to have specific skills. You only need to actually be motivated and a hard worker. And if you are there, you can join. And by the time you are finishing the dental school, you will have the complex exam. And within a short period of time, you can have your PhD. Is there anything in TM where I can do a PhD in the field of ophthalmology? Yes, we have really very, very good ophthalmology experts. So please send your CV, your motivation letter, and your field of interest, and we will find you supervisors who are actually ophthalmologists with no problem. Can the program start in spring semester in case of MD PhD? Unfortunately not. I am sorry, guys, currently, because we are relatively a small team compared how many students we have. It means that we can have a course starting in September only. But in September, you are more than happy to join us. Any more questions, guys? How can I book a call with you to discuss further about any other questions I had? Please send an email. I think this is the best, or you can call on the phone number which is there. But maybe the best way, because it's most easiest if you send an email, put in your details, your phone numbers, everything, and we will call you back within a very short time. And you can have several questions you want. Or Szilárd is also happy to give his contact, very good. So you can also contact to Szilárd directly, or you could see my contact as well. So any of you can join in. Okay, guys, I was really happy to spend this time with you. I am really happy to have so many participants on today's webinar. You will be able to rewatch the webinar on our web, and we are waiting for you. We are really committed, enthusiastic to start working with you and help you to achieve your aims, your vision. And I am 100% sure that if you join at the end of the day, you will get a knowledge what currently you cannot have anywhere else. If you are from an institution side and you would like to have bilateral agreements and bilateral work with our university, you are also very, very welcome to contact us, and we definitely will find time to discuss the possible collaboration between our institutions. Okay, we have another question. Are Ukrainian MD degrees, master degrees after 6 years eligible to apply for a CT and PhD program? Yes, you can. You can apply. So no restrictions for people coming from any other countries. However, currently, I don't know about the different regulations concerning the funds. So we have to check if you send your details, whether you need to pay tuition fee or not. I am not aware of the situation changing very quickly about the possibilities provided by the government, but definitely you can join. It's not a question whether you can apply for the governmental fund. This is what I cannot answer right now. Can we do also residency? I think there is a possibility. So if you want to do residency as well, write an email. We can have a discussion, and I wouldn't like to exclude the possibility that you join as a resident as well. There's one other question. How does the process work if I am doing TDK in the pathology depth and I want to do a PhD later with it? Absolutely possible. So let's join as a TDK student, send an email. We will especially have a look at your case, but we more than welcome project students, TDK students for sure, because in that case, when you start as a PhD, you can do it much, much better. Okay, guys, if there are no more questions, thank you. Very, very good. Thank you very much for Evelina to send it. We are really, really we have huge energy what we would like to spend on your success, guys. So thank you for your thank you, I must say, and send an email. I think you can get much more data from us, and see you either in the office beforehand, or if not in the office, we want to serve your aim from September 2023, and also in the summer school. You also can join to the summer school. You can have benefits for that. So please come and join us. And thank you for all for your time tonight. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.